Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, we wanted to share this message that we got today from Yeshua, and we've had a great channeling. So, what happens is I do mantras, and Cindy relaxes and lets herself go into a deep trance. And then, because of the frequency of the mantras will rise up both her and my vibrational rate to where we can make contact with the benevolent beings. And so today I was actually just doing mantras to Lakshmi and Ganesha, and then Yeshua came through. And how do we know? Well, many times Cindy will just start saying, yep, I'll hear her start to acknowledge that somebody's there, or they're acknowledging that they're there. Or otherwise, there's signals that we'll get, like I will feel a rush of energy, almost like somebody's tapping on the crown of my head. And I'll sometimes see waves of energy start to go through my third eye. And so I know that there's a high vibrational being trying to get through. And these are definitely high vibrational beings. These are not lower frequency. This is not the CIA or FBI using some of their technologies, which they do have to get through, because we've actually experienced that before. And that's like talking to anybody at the tax office. They don't give you feelings of love and wonder, and they just don't have that frequency themselves. They have a vibe of somebody that's, well, what you would expect with somebody that's working for an alphabet soup. And they're definitely not dark, demonic, or anything like that, because, again, that's a lower frequency. To anybody that has their pineal gland functioning, you'll know. And that's why we have everything going on today, because people's Kundalini, if it wasn't being interfered with, would be activated. Your pineal gland would be increasing in its ability all the time. And then they would no longer be able to control us. And they only have a little while, and that's Zeke in the background chewing a bone. Only have a little while left to control us. So I want to give you this, which was awesome, and the channeling session was actually able to answer all the questions that popped up in my head. The sound gets stronger as we go.
You're very welcome. I wanted to come through and speak with you today about the technologies that are on your planet and in your solar system today. These are some of the same technologies that were on your planet when I walked the earth, except they are not hidden. When I was on your planet, I was also here to show people that their abilities come from within. The Pharisees had alien technology and appeared to be great masters. This is not true. They had nothing special. They had technology. I came to show people that everyone can do miraculous works if you wish to. And now these technologies are soaking into your societies, into your cultures, into your families, and into yourselves, except they are no longer hidden. It is time to go within and find out how miraculous and amazing you truly are. You do not need technologies to enhance the way you live, but they want you dependent on these technologies, so they surround you with them and trick you into thinking you need them. I'm here to ask that you find ways to back away from these technologies. It can be done slowly.
Thank you for sharing that. Fascinating thought that the rulership of this planet has been the same for thousands of years. And the technology is just hidden. And so I've had visions and seen in dreams long ago of things that now I can recognize as drones, just simply watching us, watching everything we do. And this was, 35, 40 years ago, maybe even more. And I couldn't understand. They look like flying eyes, but it all makes sense now. And this technology has been here. I don't know how long.
As you know, things are cyclical in nature. Cycle after cycle, when you move into the dark age, the controllers know that it is time to bring back their technologies and convince humans that they are the gods. This has been how they control you, cycle after cycle. At first it starts out hidden, and then slowly these technologies emerge. They get you dependent on them so that you might not be able to function without them. Even your human body, if it is integrated with these technologies, will have much difficulty functioning on its own. This is all very deliberate. They know what is happening. This is why I wanted to come through and tell you these things through the channel today. I feel it is very important that you know.
If you're able to give us an answer, I'd be very, very interested in your take on who exactly is Yahweh.
Yahweh is a controller. Yahweh is an energy force. Yahweh under many understandings could be considered a demon of sorts, controlling those that he feels are under him, using these technologies, using these forces to force humans into submission. He is one that does a lot of the controlling. He works mostly on his own. He does not like to share his subjects that he controls with anyone. So he is very choosy when it comes to those that he works with.
And when we say the term, the 4 words, Yod, He, Vav, He, are we speaking about Yahweh or something different?
It is something Yahweh uses as a force, an energy, to direct the energies the way he wants them. Anybody can plug into this energy. Anyone can use this power if you know the ways of the old. We don't recommend you toy with these kind of energies. They are very serious. They can do much harm. They can also do much good. There are karmic repercussions for using them.
So I was drawn to doing a different version of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, not using that language, even not using Adonai and Heya, using just basically Sanskrit and using some of the Hindu devas. Was this something that was directed from above?
Your higher self knows how to pull these things together for you. You are very in touch with your higher self. It was directed from above from you. You are very much in touch with your higher self, and your higher self is of many different lineages and different beings. This enables you to use energies from many different sources. Acknowledge what comes to you and trust it.
Thank you for sharing that. And, you know, it's been said that you walked in the Americas when you were here in the physical body. Is that true?
I did, briefly. I have traveled the globe after I was initially chosen to help humanity evolve and show them how their life can be if they simply go within and break away from the control system. I was offered through benevolent forces to be able to travel the globe. These benevolent forces walk amongst you. They choose from time to time people this channel is getting unstable.
I'll send more energy into it because I feel this is so important, what you're sharing. Are these benevolent forces that live on the earth with us but are not Homo sapiens? Or perhaps in the earth?
Some are in the earth, some are over your earth. It is difficult for many benevolent forces to be on your 3D plane. they will reach you in different ways. For example, they can reach you through this channel. They can reach you when you go within. They try to convey to many different humans how important it is to open your heart chakra and work through the heart. Many have contact with them, they simply don't listen, and they do not trust. So they move on until they do find someone who listens and trusts, very much like you.
Thank you for sharing that as well. And if I could get one more question, there's two questions that are burning in my mind. But will you come back physically, where people can see you physically in people's lifetimes here on the planet? Or will you continue to guide from the higher densities?
I will not be here physically. No human will see me in a human form. I guide through the heart chakra. Everyone will be able to feel me and see me through their heart chakras and pineal gland, however they wish to see me as. It's up to them if they wish to open their hearts to me and believe that I am here to break away from the main system. The main system is what has enslaved you for many lifetimes, many cycles. Step away from this system. Open your heart chakra. This is where I am.
You've been attributed with saying if somebody slaps you on one cheek, turn the other. Is that possible in this situation that we see going on across the globe?
In your 3D reality, in your time-space here on Earth, it is best you avoid confrontation. Of course, however, if you are in danger and someone is trying to harm you and your family, you should not let them do this. Use the necessary force to turn them from you. Protect your loved ones. Protect the innocent. This is what I do. I protect the innocent.
And those missing years, now let this be our last question, that the Bible and all the scriptures don't cover, like from the age of 12 until maybe 29 or 30. Where were you? Were you off somewhere, or were you still there in the same area?
When I was 12 or 13, this is when the benevolent forces came to me and began to teach me the true ways of this planet. They began to teach me about the controllers and their plans to enslave humanity. So many times I did work with them so they could teach me how to use my abilities to heal. My abilities are much stronger than most. I was created at a time when these abilities could be put into a human being through DNA. before humans were altered too much. This is where I was. I was learning and practicing, as you should be too.
And was that in Judea, Samaria? Was that in Egypt, or perhaps some other location?
There was never just one location. They took me to different areas for different. This channel is. They took me to different areas for different activations around the planet on key ley lines to activate my abilities. I need to step away from this channel.
Thank you for sharing, brother. Namaste.
Namaste.
So I hope you guys found that interesting and informative. I found it, awesome. To get to be able to ask those questions finally. And I sometimes when we're channeling and he comes through, it's so much of a personal note. I don't really get to ask those type of questions before we have to go, because originally Cindy could only really manage about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Gradually she got up to 10 to 12. Now she's been able to get up to around 20 or 25 minutes. And that's with me running constant energy, because she wouldn't be able to keep that going. It's very, very difficult on the body. And so it's very much like exercise and training to be able to do it and keep it for long periods of time.
Yeah, it does. You do it though. It's something that if it's inside of you, you need to exercise it. You need to use it. You need to get it out. So it's a process.
It is, but it's our purpose. So, that's why this is so important to us. One of the things that happened today was Evolutionary Energy Arts got its second strike. So one more strike and it's gone. And both of those videos were over 3 years old, 3.5 years old, talking about things politically that, none of the players are in play at the moment, at least not in the public eye. So obviously it's just a matter of trying to eliminate things. And Christian, Ice Age Farmer, was sharing very, very similarly what he's been experiencing. So they're trying to shut things down big time. And we've gotten from the guides that the actual amount of people that are seeing our messages are many, many, many times what the numbers are that they show, as they could show any number they want. And they unfortunately also can eliminate certain channels as long as they follow certain protocols. Some protocols have changed, though, over time. Things are changing. Gosh, I forget whether I don't think we did share it with you guys yet about Phil S. No, we didn't yet. Yeah, there's so much to share with you guys still while we can. About how things are changing, but the pendulum, it might look pretty dire out there right now, and the dark forces are holding all the cards, but the reality is they're holding a crumbling house, and we hold, really, it might not look like it, but we hold way more power than they do. And as we come online, they're almost going to be insignificant. What we're going to be able to do is going to be mind-blowing. I don't think people can even conceive of it, besides maybe watching something from Marvel Comics, or looking into some of our ancient mythology about the gods like Thor and the like, because that's really what human ability is like when you're in the golden age, and we're heading there. It's going to take time. It follows the precession of the equinox. But we have just 1 foot in this Kali Yuga, the other foot's in the air, about to drop. That's how close we are when we're really looking at the big timeline.
It's really close. That's what makes it so difficult, is because I think people expect things to happen now, now. Like they want things to change. They know there's change in the horizon, and you guys do because you're highly sensitive and you've probably been through these changes before. But it's more of a marathon. It's not where we just wake up one day and everything's changed. Things take time to change, and sometimes watching them change and being in the change can be difficult too. So we're all going through a lot of strange emotions, dealing with difficult things, but it's all part of the better change that's to come.
Yes. So, when people look to scripture, as we were saying, part of the script that they've done many, many times, and say, who could do these things but the creator of everything, the true source of everything? A cloud by day, a pillar of fire by night. Is that something that couldn't be done with technology? So many people are waiting to see Project Bluebeam in action. Well, it's been there forever. That could be duplicated with Bluebeam. And as Yeshua was saying, the technologies have always been here. There's, again, metal spheres that are millions of years old, 200 million years old. Did we do that, or did somebody else do that? Did they just form naturally? I don't think so. How about turning staffs into snakes? There's fabulous musicians out there. Growing up in my day, David Copperfield, but David Blaine and so many others that do amazing things that seem to be miraculous. And again, if we're talking about beings that have done this so many times, have technology hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years ahead of us, this is nothing. Making a bush look like it's burning and it's not really burning, that's nothing that couldn't be duplicated. How about the plague? Because David did the census in Numbers and in Kings, Kings and Chronicles, I should say, Kings and Chronicles. Two different stories there. One says that God tempts David to do the census because he's mad with David and just wants to punish him. And the other one that says Satan tempts David to do the census. Either way, according to the story, 70,000 people died from a plague. Interesting. We have all sorts of clouds in the sky nowadays that could be dropping plagues upon us at any moment. Doesn't mean the plague is from the creator of the universe. Is it from some being that people have thought are God? Or one of the gods? Again, Elohim is plural. Come, let us go down there. Yeah, it's so easy to see. Now, even a breakaway civilization where beings had basically just escaped and gone down inside the earth. And I had this conversation with David Devine at DAP 2030 like 3 years ago. And we were talking about that, and he agreed. What if they knew every 12,500 years major calamity, and each, that's half a cycle of the Yuga. So they go inside the earth, or even if they have the technology to get off the earth, once the calamity's done, they come back. Everybody else on the earth has basically amnesia. We also know that when the magnetosphere gets real low, it does a lot of horrible things. Lack of oxygen is one thing, but also there's studies that showed that we might actually lose our memory. So that's interesting as well. The people that maybe did survive, perhaps, a magnetic pole excursion or pole reversal, if they did survive, they might wake up not even knowing who they are, where they are, or any of that.
It's true. We just don't know how these things look. What do they look like? We haven't been through them yet.
How about Ezekiel's wheels? Easy to see technology or Merkaba. And there's a lot of Merkabas out there. Then we see the Anunnaki stories, the Gigi. Mankind created as a slave race. Everything that they give us is in reverse. Basically, what they've done is they've altered our DNA so that we have basically just a double helix operating instead of 6 double helixes, and we're only using maybe 10% or thereabouts of our brain because the DNA is limiting our ability to use our full capacity. And there's legends all around the globe. And remember the Chinese legends that say at one time, before the gods put dividers in between the chakras, right? Before they stopped the Kundalini flow. So our pineal glands weren't operating. And of course, why do we have fluoride? It's not for your teeth. It's, so your pineal gland won't function perfectly. Same thing with like a lot of Wi-Fi, all these different toxins, poisons, GMO foods. This is all about keeping people in lower vibration, giving them religious doctrines that pin them against each other. No, ours is the only true way. No, ours is. Well, yeah, there you go. We're going to have to fight about it.
Mm-hmm.
How far has that got you? I mean, when we look at the world and say 60% to 70% is coming out of the Abrahamic tradition, the dominant tradition on the planet, Islam and Christianity are on a collision course. They're two trains on the same track heading right towards each other. But it's really no surprise because they've orchestrated all this and they've done it so many times.
Yes, they have, over and over and over.
So, what's it really all about? It's about Christ consciousness. They get you to wait for a Savior that they know is not coming in the way you want him to come. So what happens? You just sit there. Or you react in ways that, are not in the best interest of you, humanity, or the planet. Constantly waiting. Don't worry. He's coming. He's going to save us. Don't worry. He's going to save us. Well, the saving you comes by realizing the potential that lies within you. And then you have to take the actions. We are the ones we're waiting for, as Cindy quoted just like the other day. And that was from the Hopi. We are the ones we are waiting for. It's up to us. And if you really, really wanted to, you could connect with Yeshua right now. You just have to do the work and raise your vibrations, open up your Kundalini flow, open up your chakras, get the Kundalini flowing, pineal gland open, start a daily meditation practice, Qigong, yoga, things along those lines. Dedicate to it and make it your priority if you really want to get to know Christ, the real. The real second coming, again, is available to anyone at any time.
I know a lot of people say, well, we're here. We're moving into it. And it's because it's a vibration. It's not a literal person coming.
Exactly. It's a frequency and a connection. And when we started this out, I said I was reaching out first to Ganesha. That's just what my pattern is to do. And second to Lakshmi. And then I go on down the line from there, normally to 10 or 12 different, very, very benevolent masters. And Yeshua was the one that wanted to speak to us, to give us this message today, because it's imperative. It's up to us to do it. And we talked about a lot of things here. I hope that it does sink in. I know there's going to be those that are too indoctrinated to accept anything other than what King James, your 33rd degree Mason, head of all the Masonic churches in Scotland and England and Wales, is giving you, or Constantine the Great, the Roman pagan emperor who killed his wife and firstborn son because he was worried they might end up usurping his power at some time, and somehow miraculously got converted to Christianity because he saw a vision of Christ that said, conquer under this sign, the sign of the cross. Well, that was never his sign. That was never Yeshua's sign, and that was never his mission. He didn't come to be a blood sacrifice. He came to enlighten us, to teach us the ways of the universe. The controllers twist it and turn it into blood and guts, and that's really the way they do things. Constantly pitting us against each other. So go now, tell everybody the good news, convert them. How about Islam? Same thing. There's only one way. There's just one way, and it's through Allah. And Muhammad's his messenger. Islam means to submit, Or else what? Well, Sharia law, close shaves, guillotines, you know. And people will argue this. Well, that's because there's saints in every tradition that don't necessarily, maybe never even read the whole book in either of those two books. And there can be saints in any tradition, even if they're, you know, following along with a script that is not of the highest vibrational frequency, simply because their hearts will overrule and their acts will overrule the negativity because of the purity of their intention. So we do have saints in every tradition, irregardless of what that tradition is.
Yes, we do. Very important to recognize all of that.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for being part of the family. Do subscribe and share as well as you can if you feel so motivated. Let us wake up this world. You know, it's going to wake up one way or the other. So let us have it be quicker than later and in a more benevolent way than what is planned by the controllers. Thank you all you Patreons. We couldn't do it without you, most definitely. And also do check out Medicinal Foods. Lots of great stuff. Use the coupon code EEA for an extra 5% off the order. And then as you fill up your cart, get discounts up to 25% off, free shipping, good healthy stuff that can help build your body. And that is your temple, by the way. So as always, guys, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.